So picture this. You're living in the Disney Renaissance. Little Mermaid came out in 1989. Year after that, you have Beauty and the Beast, which is far and away the greatest animated film of all time. Aladdin comes out the year after that. And then you have The Lion King, the highest grossing animated movie up to that point. Disney was on top of the damn world. It seems like nothing could hold this company back. Let's talk about this one. 30 years ago, Pocahontas was released in theaters. And listen, I don't think this movie is a terrible one, but I think as a follow-up to The Lion King, which was so freaking successful, this was a massive disappointment. So I'm not even going to dig into the fact that this is based off of the Indian princess. And yeah, the history aspect of this is bogus. But in terms of the story, we follow a young Native American woman named Pocahontas who meets Captain John Smith, who's voiced in this by Mel Gibson, who, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of right now. Captain Smith journeyed to the New World with other settlers to begin fresh lives. Smith's fellow Englishmen hope to rob the Native Americans of all their gold because, yeah, that's what the villains want. They are greedy. Not really much to them. I think the more interesting aspect is Pocahontas' relationship with her father, Chief Powhatan, who disapproves of their relationship, and he wants her to marry a native warrior in Kocoum. But Pocahontas is basically showing with compassion and empathy that two groups from seemingly different worlds can get along. Now, in terms of character, Pocahontas herself, not as interesting as some of the other Disney female leads that we had gotten, especially in the 5 years preceding Pocahontas. But her relationship with the wilderness, I think, is kind of what makes her stand out. Her open-mindedness and all that good stuff, her compassion towards other people, her compassion towards nature, compassion towards other beings. Yeah, that part is what makes Pocahontas interesting. But then again, this whole movie is about communicating with nature. And yes, you do have some very cute animal sidekicks like Miko, who I'm sure a lot of people love. But let me bring up this point. Why don't the animals freaking talk? If this is a movie about communicating with nature, there is no movie other than Pocahontas that would make more sense to have the animals speak in. Yeah, but the animals don't speak in this, because Pocahontas has to speak to Grandmother Willow, who's a tree. So you mean to tell me that the trees can talk and the animals cannot? That still makes absolutely zero sense to me. Now listen, as much as I dog on this movie, and as much as I don't think is as interesting as a lot of the other Disney Renaissance projects, I can't sit here and deny the impact that this movie had on subsequent empowered female heroines like Mulan. Hell, even in Frozen. Pocahontas had a lot of influence on Disney's future, but I think as a standalone movie, and again, especially as a follow-up to Lion King, the most successful animated movie up to that point, this felt like a bit of a diversion and a bit of a letdown. Once again, you have Alan Menken coming back to do the music for this one, his first Disney foray since Aladdin, and I really like some of these songs. Colors of the Wind is a certified banger. It did win Best Original Song at the Academy Awards in 1995. And listen, just to show you how much I love Colors of the Wind, just to show you how much it kind of means to my family, my youngest brother would watch Pocahontas on repeat, and his bedroom was right next door to mine. And he would crank up Pocahontas to the highest degree. Colors of the Wind would be blasting through the door, all as I'm trying to sleep. But listen, there's a lot more annoying ways to fall asleep. That can be pretty soothing, especially when you take in the imagery. Oh my gosh, the animation looks really great in this. The artistic design team in this movie really did a marvelous job of capturing the essence of what that song actually means. Just Around the River Bend is a very good intro song. I really like Savages as well, even though the lyrics might be a bit questionable nowadays. But yeah, you know, this one, it's a weird way to follow up to what many people consider the greatest thing Disney's ever produced. And especially when you take into facts the historical inaccuracies that are written all over this movie. I'm almost positive that Pocahontas and John Smith never fell in love. This story probably didn't happen the way that this movie is showing you. Kocoum probably didn't die in as gruesome of a manner as he did. By the way, the guy who killed Kocoum, Thomas, guess who voices him? Yep, that's right, Batman himself, Christian Bale. A very young Christian Bale as well. I think this was right after when he did Newsies. I could be very wrong. I don't remember off the top of my head when Newsies came out. But this is like that era Christian Bale. Well, also the romance part, I mean, it doesn't really help that John Smith as a character isn't really all that intriguing. And I'm not just saying that because he's voiced by Mel Gibson, of course not. I just don't really think he's that compelling of a character. He's a heartthrob that the lead heroine wants to marry. Whoop-de-doo. And the villain of this movie, Governor Radcliffe, is just greedy. That's literally his entire complexity. His greed. He's like the Mr. Krabs of Disney villains. He's not really that interesting. Hell, Mr. Krabs is more interesting than this guy. At least Mr. Krabs is funny. But yeah, I mean, do I hate this movie? No, but is it one of my favorite Disney animated movies? Far from it. Especially when you take into consideration that this is like right at the peak of Disney Renaissance era, 1995. Not up to the standards that I'm looking for. And it's sandwiched right in between two of my favorites in terms of overall releases. You had Lion King before this, Pocahontas, Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is still the most underrated Disney movie ever. But yeah, this movie's influence cannot be overlooked either. Even though it's not really the most compelling narrative, it's certainly not the most historically accurate narrative you'll ever see. The impact this film had on Disney's future can't be disputed at all. I'm going to give Pocahontas a C+. Artistically speaking, a very nice movie to look at and to listen to with Alan Menken's songs. But yeah, you're not going to hear me raving about this one over... You're not going to hear me talk about how much I rewatch Pocahontas, because I don't. And I'm sure there's some of you out there that do. And I'm sure if you love Pocahontas, hey, that's totally cool. Live your best life, you know? But guys, thank you so much for tuning into the video. Hit that subscribe button if you're new and tap on that thumbs up as well. I think I can actually announce this. So, last year, I was moving. So my Halloween special wasn't as dense as you guys might be used to. So you know what? This year, I'm going to make up for it. This year, I'm going to be starting the Halloween playlist earlier. I'm going to be starting it in the month of September instead. And I'm going to crank out as many freaking Halloween reviews as I please. So if you guys have any suggestions, I already have a list forming, and some of you have offered suggestions, which thank you very much. You might be seeing those suggestions this year. But if you have any more ideas, let me know down in the comments. I'm interested. And thank you so much again for your continued support, my friends. Y'all are the best. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence.